In this video, I'm going to show you how to plan an online store using WebStarts. Now, if you're selling a single product, then this video probably isn't for you. I would recommend you check out my video on how to add a sales funnel to your website. What that will do is it'll give you a heads up on how you can just sell that one product. But if you have a lot of products to sell and you want to create a complete online store or catalog of your items, then this video is for you. Here you can see that I've created a store using WebStarts, and when I click on my store tab in the menu, I see a catalog of my products. I can click on those and then I can add them to my cart. Over here you can see that I can sort through them by category, that kind of thing. Up here I have my checkout cart. When I click on that, I can check out real easily, go to the checkout page, continue shopping, all the things that you would come to expect from an online store. Let me show you how I created that using WebStarts. First thing you need to do is, if you haven't already done so, is create a WebStarts account. You can do that by going to webstarts.com and clicking Get Started. It's free. Then just choose a design for your website. You can choose any design or you can choose a store design. If you choose a design that doesn't have a store integrated with it already, then all you need to do is log in like I have here and then click on the store app, and that's going to activate your store. Here you can see I already have created a database of products and categories and things like that. We'll get into that in a minute, but for the sake of this video, what I want you to focus on is answering three big questions when it comes to creating an online store. The first one is, how are you going to accept payment? The next one is, what shipping options are you going to offer to your customers? And the last one is, how are you going to fulfill those orders? How are you going to make sure that those shipments get sent out and that you're providing tracking information, that sort of thing, to your customers? Now, I'm going to answer all those, and starting with the payment one. You can find your payment processor setup information under the settings tab. Here you can see it says payment processor, and I have WePay selected. One of the great things about WebStarts is that when you enable that store app in your account, you're automatically going to be able to start receiving payments via Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. We do that by partnering with WePay. They charge a 2.9% transaction fee. That's pretty standard for internet transactions. You may be able to save a small percentage if you go with a different solution, but for the most part, you're going to find that it's always around 2.9% when you're doing online transactions. And if you're not doing millions and millions of dollars, then it's really hard to get a great discount off of that. And even at that, obviously it's 2.9%. So the amount that they can budge isn't huge, but nonetheless, that's a huge advantage to be able to accept credit cards just as soon as you enable that store app. And the way that works is that when you enable the store app, the WePay account is created and it's configured with your account, and then an email goes out to you that you should be looking out for, that you click on the link in, and then that takes you to a page where you can fill out your bank information, your social security number, that kind of thing. And then WePay, which is owned by Chase Bank, will make sure that you're legitimate and everything before they start actually depositing money into your account. So they kind of have a little safety mechanism built in there, but they'll let you start taking money right away, which is way better than pretty much any other payment processor. Back in the day, you used to have to pretty much go through the underwriting process like you're getting a loan in order to get the ability to accept credit card payments. With WePay and Stripe and things like that, that's not the case anymore. I know another popular option for accepting payments is PayPal, and you can see that you can enable the ability to accept PayPal payments and enter your PayPal email address here. I don't particularly like PayPal. I don't think that it gives your site as much credibility, especially if it's the only payment option on your site. I do think it can be a good secondary payment option, so I want to recommend that you don't just use PayPal. If you're going to use it, just make it as like a secondary thing. Like here I have my American Express, Visa, Discover, that kind of thing with WePay, and then I can also accept payments using PayPal. You can use other processors as well as WePay. For example, you can use Stripe, which is a very popular one, and it's very good as well. It doesn't let you create or accept payments instantly. So that's why we don't set that up by default. And then authorize.net, which is a little bit of an older solution, but a lot of existing merchants already have authorize.net accounts. So we allow you to use them as your payment processor as well. Now let's move on to the second question now that we've covered how you're going to accept payments, which is going to be WePay if you just go right out of the box. But the next question is, what shipping options are you going to be offering your customers? And in this day and age, so many people are accustomed to free shipping, and then because of Amazon, they almost expect free 2-day shipping. That's probably not going to be realistic for your business. Amazon sends a lot of packages, so they're able to offer shipping rates that you probably won't. So you might have to get a little bit clever with your shipping practices. So you can still offer free shipping, but just know that you're going to have to probably build in the shipping cost into the price of the item that you're selling. That still can be a great benefit over selling products on Amazon, for example, because they charge really a minimum of about 15% of your total transaction. So you've got a lot of room there to work with when it comes to eating up the shipping cost with the price of your item. But if you want to use free shipping, then what you do is you go under the settings, just like we are here, go over to the shipping option, and then what we do is we have different types of shipping options. Like you would just choose free shipping, and then of course your shipping wouldn't be calculated at checkout. It would just say free shipping, and then whatever the shipping cost is, you would absorb that cost. So if you're shipping via UPS and you're offering free shipping and they charge you $8 for shipping, then you just make sure you build that into the cost of the order or the price of the order. If you want, you can also set up your shipping options by weight, by price, by quantity. You can do a flat rate. So if you want to, for example, give, a flat rate of $10 for everything that you add to the order, you can do that. Really, the possibilities are endless there, but you need to make a decision about what works for you. If you're selling little items, for example, you might want to send them using USPS or the United States Postal Service priority, because if you can fit it into this little box, then everything anywhere in the United States is going to be around like $4 to $6 or $4 to $7, something like that. And then you always kind of have an idea of what it's going to cost to ship. We do have the option to use UPS. If you choose this option, it's going to take UPS's standard rates and it's going to calculate those as your shipping cost estimate. If you have a UPS account and they give you a discount on the standard rates, then what I recommend is that you just use the UPS standard rates to calculate your shipping, and then if you can ship it for lower, then you just either use that as a little bit of padding to your profit, or you can just pass that saving on to the customer by offering, free shipping or a discounted rate on the shipping. If you choose UPS, then you're probably going to want to enter your ship from zip code, because it's going to need to know that in order to calculate the shipping rates. And you just click update when you're ready to do that. So far we've answered the first question, which is how you're going to accept payments. That's going to be with WePay, and that's going to be Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. And then how are you going to ship? That, of course, is up to you depending on what works for your business model. But when you do make a decision, you know where to find those options here in your WebStarts store app. So the third question is, how are you going to fulfill your orders? Well, when somebody places an order with you on WebStarts, you're going to get a notification, and it's going to include their shipping address, and it's going to include their name and other information. What you're going to do is use that information to hopefully put your product into a package and then ship it the way that you want, but you're probably going to have somebody in your organization that's going to need to be set up to get that order notification, and you can find all that under the Orders tab. Now, something that I recommend is that if you're shipping items, you need to be sending tracking numbers to your customers. So when you fulfill that order, you probably want to send them an email from your email address for your store, customer service, with a tracking link in it, so that you know that package went out, that they have all the information they need, so they don't call up 2 days later and say, hey, I don't see my package or whatever. So make sure that you take that into consideration when setting up your order fulfillment. Now that you've answered those big questions on, how you're going to accept payments, what you're going to do for shipping, and what you're going to do for fulfillment, now you can take a closer look at how to actually create products in WebStarts. And to do that, under the Products tab, just click Add Product, and then you'll see there's a space where you can add a title to your product. So this website is kind of focused on skin cream, so you can add a title and then a description like, just going to say anti-aging skin cream. These are just short descriptions. You can make your description as long as you want. You can also highlight some of the text in the description so that you can make certain words bold, italic. You can create hyperlinks from your description so they can learn more, and then you can also call out certain parts of the description with these quotes right here. Moving down to images, you can add several images to your product or for your product. You just click on those images in your file manager. If you haven't uploaded those images, then just click upload and choose those images from your computer or wherever you're keeping those. Again, you can add several images right here. You can add a video to go with your product by clicking on the Add Video button right here. And of course, once again, that opens up the file manager where you'll have to either upload those videos from your local computer. You can also choose to find those videos on YouTube and then embed those into your product. Next is the pricing field. In the pricing field, you just put the price of your product. I'm putting $10 for this example. And then just below that, you see charge taxes on this product. So some products are obviously taxable in some areas. Other products are not. You can set up your taxes under the Settings tab. So it will calculate the tax based on where the person is located if you are charging tax. I'm not going to charge tax in this demonstration, but it's good for you to have an idea where to find those things. Categories can be important because if you just show page after page of unorganized products, it's going to be confusing for people to find them. I've broken these categories up into like face, legs, hair, hands. Again, this is kind of an anti-aging site. If I wanted to add a new category, I can click Add New Category, or I can also add in change the order of categories, that sort of thing, by clicking on the Categories tab over here on the left. So I'm just going to say that this is face cream and choose that. Now, shipping, you can have disabled or enabled. If you do enable it, it's a good idea to put in a weight for that package so that if you do decide to use the UPS API to calculate your shipping, or you decide to ship based on weight, it has an idea of how much that particular product weighs so it can come up with the right shipping price. Here you have an option to hide a product from the store catalog. I like to use this option when I'm running a special and I'm sending out an email broadcast and I want to take people to a special link where they're getting a deal, but I don't want that deal to be advertised on my everyday store website, I guess you could say, or catalog. So if you want to just hide a particular product from your store catalog, you would enable that. Here you have variants. Variants is a really popular feature. This is where you would set up things like size, color, or material, and you can customize these to be whatever you want. But the way that this works is when you choose to enable variants and you enter like small, medium, large for size, that kind of thing, and they're separated by commas, then the person can choose whether they want small, medium, or large when they're on the add product page. And the same thing with colors. So it's like red, blue, green. I'm just going to add these as examples. And then your materials you could enter. But basically that way they can choose whether they want a medium t-shirt and they want it in red and they want it made out of cotton instead of nylon or whatever. And that will show up on the live website under the product description and things like that. Here you can add a photo to go along with each combination. So if you had a small red t-shirt, you could put a photo and a video of a small red t-shirt. You can also set up the prices so that they're different. So if you have, let's say, a t-shirt and it's 2XL, and you don't want to sell that for the same price as a small because it costs you a lot more money to make, then you can set a special price for that 2XL shirt. It's going to go ahead and disable that now that we've covered it. Inventory management. That's if you want to enable inventory management, then what happens is you have to enter a stock on hand, like the number of t-shirts that you have in stock, and then you can put a number of t-shirts that you receive a notification that tells you you're running low on stock, and it will display at product checkout. It'll say something like there's this many in stock or only this many left or whatever. Here you can choose whether you want to allow people to purchase items that are out of stock, because maybe you're just temporarily out of stock and you have products come in every other day or whatever, and it's not going to affect your ability to meet the customer expectations. And there, if you check that box, it will display the stock on hand, but if it's unchecked, then it won't. Digital delivery, this is an option if you're selling a digital product. So let's say if you're selling an ebook, like a PDF file, or you're selling an album of MP3s or a software product in a zip file, then you would put some text that they'll receive on the confirmation page here, like, click below to download, and then you'll put the link where you want them to download here, or you will actually attach the file, and then you'll provide some download instructions, and all that ends up on their confirmation page. I'm going to disable that as well. Once you're ready, you just click create, and then that new product's created, and then you can see that product here, my skin cream for my face that I created. Now you've got these little handles that you can use to rearrange the order that particular product appears on your website. And you can do the same thing with categories as well. Anytime you see those little handles, it means you can rearrange things. You can edit category names if later you decide, I don't really like that category name. And then you can also, of course, delete categories if they're not appropriate. And likewise with products, you can delete and edit those as well. And you can also, if you go to products, you can view what that product looks like in the store. A couple of other features with WebStarts is you can run a report to see, what kind of sales you had for any given time period. And you can also set up coupons. This is good for sending out broadcast emails for discounts and things like that. Like you can run, Labor Day special, type in Labor Day at checkout. And if you have the coupon enabled here, you can set whether you want to give a discount in an amount increment or a percentage increment. And then you can give the name or code of the coupon. And then you put in the actual dollar amount discount if you're using amount, or the percentage discount if you're using percent. And then you can choose whether you want that coupon to expire. You can manage the coupons in this view if you create multiple coupons. Customers is a great tab because this is where it shows, all of the customers to your website. So if they've made or purchased an order, you can view that order by clicking there. Another thing you might notice on the settings page is the ability to go into test or live mode. Just make sure if you go into test mode that you go back into live mode. If you conduct a transaction and you're in test mode, then you're not going to receive any money for that product. So don't ship products that you received payment in test mode, because you won't get the money for that product. So just be aware of that. But test mode's nice for figuring out how to send or how to run a transaction, run a test transaction. Getting back into your website itself, if you click on Edit Website from the dashboard, there's a few things you can do to your store pages. You can find your store pages in the top left by choosing Store. And if you click on the Store widget, which is all this selected area, and then click on the Settings cog, you can adjust the number of columns, for example, that displays your products. So if you wanted like 2 columns or 3 columns or 4 columns, you can change that there. You can change the number of rows before you see the little next here that you click to page to the next page. So if I wanted like 2 or 3 rows of products before the person was required to go to the next page, and then I could do that. Then you can adjust your image scaling. That's if you have images that look better cropped. I have fit selected for this example. And then if your images are very wide, you'll want to choose something like 16:9 for the format. If your images are very tall, you'll want to choose something like 9:16. If your images are somewhere in between, then you might want to choose one of these others. It's set to 4:3 by default. Down here at the bottom, you have some checkboxes. You can choose to show categories or not show them, show product search or not show product search, and then show your sorting options as well, which are the ability to sort by price and things of that nature. Now you can do this with each page. So if I go from my store page to my product page, and I want to enable those categories, product search, and sorting options, I'd have to check those boxes on that particular page as well. You can also do the cart page. Once again, here you can choose to display those options or disable them. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, there are a few other features, like for example, there's an import feature that allows you to import all the products that you want from a CSV file. So if you have those products stored in a CSV file, there's also the store icon in the editor view that lets you do things like add a store widget, like this cart widget that goes up here into the header, and that's how people get to your cart. And also you can add a product widget, and that's like a little featured product that you can add to your page. So if I wanted to add this to my home page, I could do it. Just some small things in there that I didn't cover in this video, but that's basically it for how to plan your online store using WebStarts. Don't forget to visit webstarts.com to create your very own free online store and also see more videos like this. And be sure to subscribe and enable notifications on YouTube so you can be the first to see my newest videos and check out our other videos as well. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you right away. Thanks for watching.